Father, we just thank you for this time together, the joy that we can have just spending time together, God. And we just pray that you would be with us throughout this conversation, God, that this would just be edifying. Just allow the church to connect on a deeper level. Yeah, just for that deeper connection, for people to share their stories, say what they're about, God. And again, we just thank you. We thank you for this church. We thank you for this ministry. Pray that you would guide us, guide this conversation, Father. Pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Hello and welcome to the Connection Church podcast. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Today we have Pastor Chris Light and the awesome
Mrs. Andy Lindner.
Mrs. Andy Lindner. Yay. All right. Well, I'm really excited about this one.
Are you?
I am.
You're not jumping out of your seat, but
I express my excitement in different ways, but inside I am jumping. I promise.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because a big part of what we wanted to do with this podcast is kind of highlight and put a spotlight on different people within this church congregation. And we thought, what better way to start than Andy?
Everybody's favorite.
Well, yeah.
Now, maybe.
I would also like
I'm
to
a lot more
give a shout
spunkier
out.
than you think.
I don't know if it counts as a member. I guess she would, but Tori was already on, so she may have started our guest spot.
Yeah, although she's a pastor, so
she's a pastor.
I didn't mean favorite podcast guest. I meant just favorite human in the church.
Oh.
Everybody's favorite.
That's fair.
Yes.
So that would include Tori, your wife.
Yeah, your wife.
I'm trusting that she's not going to be watching this.
You're up there, Andy. Let's just say that.
Tori's number one.
Yeah, especially any member of the church that has kids, you're the favorite for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can edit that out, Chris. Don't worry.
Of course, I'm joking. I love all of you equally.
Why you look at me like that? All right. So we are excited to hear a little bit about you, Andy. We want to get into your testimony, but first, it's the holiday season.
No. What?
So, what's your favorite?
Oh, I thought we had a sponsor.
I thought he was going to make
Me
a
too.
This episode is brought to you by the North Pole.
The North Pole. Making Christmas happen since I don't know when Christmas
Yeah,
started.
me neither. Probably before 19
Please
something.
hit the subscribe button below.
I think it started like
18?
the year 0 when Jesus was born.
Yeah, but I mean, really, the Catholics started it. Right? So let's not get into
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. What is you both of you? What's your favorite Christmas song?
That's hard.
I've had the advantage of thinking about it.
And
Yeah.
I have
gonna go with
50 million going off in my head right now, so it's like.
All right, I'm gonna throw mine out there. I think it might be Silver Bells. It's classic. Frank Sinatra singing that one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I'm still thinking. It's like my favorite one, or which one do I just happen to frequently sing randomly throughout the day? So it's like, is that really my secret favorite one? I don't know. I'm still thinking. What's yours?
Give me some time.
Well, I mean, for like the entire Reliant K Christmas album is so good. Whether it's the fun songs or the serious ones, like that one where it's like the first time that you opened your eyes, did you realize that you would be my savior?
That's super good.
Oh, that song is so good.
Yeah.
Like it's powerful.
Yep.
But
And
then all the fun songs too.
and Silent Night leads into that song.
Yeah. So that entire Reliant K album is probably my favorite thing from Christmas, or a favorite song from Christmas. I like all the old classics as well. I personally, even though I know most people would not agree with this, I don't mind the Mariah Carey. All I Want for Christmas is You.
It's good. It's good.
So I think that's my favorite, but I don't like go around singing all the time, like once in a while. But I work with kids all day, so I like today I probably sang Jingle Bells 20,000 times in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're just having a good time. And I have a good time singing it. I love hearing
Yeah.
it. I can't help it. So
Little
I love
bit
the
of-
instrumentals. So I love any Christmas music. That's just the instrumentals. I just
Yeah.
love that whimsical sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A little bit of Wham too. Yeah.
it's an 80s band.
Okay.
You don't know Wham?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
George
I am
Michael.
not that old
Oh.
or young.
Yeah. I know
Last
that
cr-
name.
Yeah. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
The very
Oh,
next
yeah.
day, you gave it.
That's a
away.
good one.
Yeah. It's Wham.
All right. It's good to know. Jeremiah, you got one?
Forrest Frank just made a Christmas album. I've only heard one of the songs
Yeah.
so far.
Really?
Um,
I haven't heard it yet.
but
I do like him.
I'm similar to Pastor Chris. Like I probably have an album in mind. I really like punk rock music. And I found a cover band like while searching through Spotify called First to 11, and they have a Christmas album. So it's just like a bunch of classic Christmas songs in punk rock,
Nice.
and it's super good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the Killers, the band The Killers, they have some good Christmas songs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a Christmas song, but along that same lines, there's a heavy metal version of Party in the USA.
Anything.
Did
You
AI
can turn
make it?
anything into
No.
heavy
Oh.
metal.
No, it's
real
not
band?
AI. Real band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that out of the way,
Yeah.
let's talk about you, Andy. Well, thank you for coming on. First,
You're
of all.
welcome.
Appreciate it. So I just want I want to hear your story. I feel like I know little bits about where you come from, what you're about, but I thought it would be good just to hear a bit about your testimony.
That's every time I hear that, it's so hard for me to piece all together because I've never really actually told my testimony as a whole. I think I've only done it one time. And at that moment, I don't know, it just didn't turn out very well, I guess. And but I feel like everyone always only knows little bits and pieces of my story, whether it's my testimony or just my life history, just because I don't really like talking that much about myself or things I've gone through, things like that. But like I heard something, it was yesterday, that my testimony is the only sermon that I can tell and how God works in my life and continues. And so it's going to be kind of hard to like try and share it. Like I don't really know where to ever begin because when I look back on my life, just like reading my Bible, I can see and where Jesus fits in every parts of the Bible. So now that I'm older and I'm growing closer to God, I can look back on my life and see all these pieces of where he was with me. It's just, so now I'm like, if I wanted to share my testimony, it's just so much. Probably everybody has so much. They don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
Would it help if I ask you questions?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I totally agree with what you're saying about like what your message is, what your sermon is, because that's been a guiding thing for me as a minister, as a pastor and a preacher. What John says in his first epistle, 1 John chapter 1, right in the opening of the book, he says, that which we have seen, that which we heard, that which we handled with our own hands, concerning the word of life that was manifested in the flesh, that we declare to you. And I love what John's saying there. He's saying, like, I'm declaring what I actually experienced with him. And that's really what Jesus wants from all of us. It's like, what has he done in our life? And that's our message to declare. And yeah, I've learned some things about your story. Just honestly, the way you came to our church, you were such a godsend when you came. It was just encouraging when you and Vincent started walking to church, and we're like, oh my goodness, they're so great. And interestingly enough, your story is kind of connected with something that was happening in our church at the time that Zach was connected with, because Zach had approached me about doing some outreach ministry. And so we started doing some outreach to some hotels and places like that in the town. And you got very interested in that right away. And I learned as we were all working on that together that you had kind of a strong connection to that as part of your story as well.
Just thinking about it, I'm like really trying hard not to get emotional because I could show you pictures too. Like it was so amazing that you like had that in your heart too, to like reach out to these people. Cause I was like, that's how God planted a seed in me. I was like 8, 9 years old and we were living in and out of these rundown motels. That was my life. And all I heard was a knock on the door. And it's a gentleman going around saying, hey, we got church next door and there's donuts after. And it was just me and my older brother at the time. He was like 12. He's like, let's go to church. And we went there and, I'd go to the little Sunday school and came back and we had donuts. And then the next Sunday, knock, knock. Well, my brother doesn't want to go. I was like, well, I want to go. I just go by myself with this guy next door. 90 something, I don't know. But, and it was just interesting because I was just not even 9 years old yet. And I'm just sitting in this small, it was next to what was known as the Roberts Motel. There's like it used to be a Best Western. They must have rented like a small little room to do like their own small little church. And they'd have worship and then they'd take the kids down to this other room and then they'd come back and stuff. And I went down the children's church once or twice, but it was kind of scary. But I felt like I was uncomfortable in that position, but I wasn't scared of the church, if that makes sense. Like the next week, I just stayed up front with the grown-ups and listened to the sermon. Not even 9 years old, and I was just so interested in the worship. What are these people doing? I feel like I'm supposed to be here. And I was going to church every single day, whether it was at that church or when I moved to the Cascade and a different church would come and pick us up. I was going to church every single Sunday by myself as a kid. And like, long story short, I got really connected with a family. I call him my goddad. I'm still connected with him today. And he would drive the buses around picking us kids up. And he became really close to my family and definitely helped nurture that seed. And I got to go on missionary trips to Mexico. Yes, there's lots of things. A few times a year serving down there. Still like preteen, teenager years, I was doing all these amazing things while still growing up in these adverse childhood trauma experiences. Because even though I was facing so much trauma, I just felt like I don't know, like God was always in my life and I had everything that I ever needed, but I also felt like I need to be doing something. So at that time, I was doing a lot of ministry, like in Mexico and going to San Francisco and serving people and stuff. But there was a point in my life where things were really rough at home, and I felt like if I stay here, it's not going to be good for me in the future. And I did something. I ran away from home, and I didn't just run away from home. I kind of just ran away from my God, my church. I didn't stop believing in him. I didn't stop loving him, but I felt like I didn't want to burden him with my problems. I felt like I got to do this on my own if I want to make it and not be like one of these people on the streets and fall into that pattern. I wanted to break the cycle, but I felt like I was supposed to do it alone. And so there's that long gap into my adulthood where I was going through life, but doing it all on my own. And, I had my husband and things but it's like, I always felt there was something missing. And then you fast forward, I have my son out of nowhere. He's like, I want to go to church. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like thinking back for many years, somewhere in Ephesians, like that's my responsibility to raise up my son. Like I can't stay away anymore. I have to go back. I was like, I have to. All right, Vincent, we're going to find ourselves a church. Let's go. The only thing I could do was like, I think let's go back to my old church. And we tried and we were kind of church hopping around, but it just wasn't, I don't know, he wasn't feeling right and I wasn't feeling right until our little neighbor invited us to church, which is just down the way. And here we are. We're connected with you guys.
Yeah.
But there's so much in between. But I was like, oh my gosh, my son out of nowhere has this calling to know what church is and about God and be close to him. And I'm like, I have to do this. And the moment we went to church, we just kept coming. And the more I kept coming and growing that relationship again with God, everything just started to blossom. So it's like that seed was originally planted in some rocks and it was being taken care of. But then when I left, it's like started to die out, but the seed was still good. The roots were still there. And my son came, and then here's Connection Church, and everything's being nurtured again. So much. Like my mind's exploding thinking about it.
Yeah, and your
There's so
husband got
much.
baptized recently. Too.
Yes, and I learned. Thank you for mentioning him. Love him. You know, it was kind of hard at first, like just me and my son going and like, okay, you know, love you, honey, and we're going to church. You know, I really wanted him to be a part of this because I want him to know Jesus, but I didn't want to like change him. Like that's not my job to do. You know, it's God's job. You know, and so I just prayed to God to like work on my own self and like just allow him to just reach out to Aaron and have Aaron hear his calling. And you know what? It happened. My husband heard and he came and he got baptized and he's super excited about Jesus. Anytime now it's just like, did you hear this? Did you read this? I'm like, yeah, like tell me, like show me. Like he's so excited that it's unbelievable. So now our whole family has this excitement about God and we just want to serve.
Yeah.
We just want to be there all the time, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great.
It's awesome. I would like to say I also love Aaron. Aaron's great.
Oh my goodness.
So
Me
awesome.
too. But him and I, the first time we met, I don't know, there was just kind of that affinity there, you know. It's where, you know, having just met him, I was like, oh, I could be buddies with this guy.
He's a hoot.
He's one of those
He's
guys.
my best friend, and that's not like a, you know, no, we really are best friends. We've been together for this December 19th, 21 years.
Wow.
Yes, 21 years. Married 18. I don't remember. He's actually better at remembering that kind of stuff.
He's the more romantic of the...
I stopped counting after like
better
15. Yeah, so like we're best friends. Like I met him when I was like, we've been friends our whole lives.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He carries with him a sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
That just draws people in, I think.
100%.
I find it really interesting because throughout the little bits of your story that you talked about, you can kind of see how you developed this passion for kids and ministering to kids and getting them into church. I think it's fascinating to me that it came from a knock on your door when you were a child, right? And then your child came to you.
I know.
You know, and brought
Kids
you
are
back
always
to
coming
church.
to me. I'll be out in public and people are just like smiling and stuff, and their kids come running up to me like as if I'm Santa Claus or something. Like, hi. I'm like, don't worry, I'm a teacher. Like,
Yeah, it's super cool.
They just know
they just know.
you got that teacher vibe.
I know. I'm like, it's like crisscross applesauce like a boss.
Yeah.
I have nothing but teacher shirts in my closet.
Your giving teacher, as the kids would say.
Giving.
How did Vincent get curious?
I mean, I don't know.
Just came out of the blue.
I mean, it's not like I have mentioned God like throughout our, you know, and I have, you know, books at the house and things like that. And, you know, his neighborhood friend that he would play with, I'll just say Luna, he'll play with. And I was like, maybe he overheard her coming back saying, oh, I just came back from church, or I don't know. But I mean, I never stopped believing or anything. It's just I didn't do all this, you know, modeling and practicing like my relationship with God. He never really seen any of that, you know. He was just it was very weird. I swear. It was just one day he just said that. I'm like, why do you want? He's like, because I want to go. I'm like, then let's go.
Yeah.
I couldn't question it anymore. So
Yeah. Well, you can't help, at least from an outside perspective, see kind of the evidence of the Spirit moving in your life.
Yeah. Even using Luna like that.
Yeah.
You know, Luna's another one who,
Shout out Luna.
yeah, she just
subscribe,
you know,
Luna.
She just started walking to church.
Yep.
I don't even.
She reminded me of me because
why.
she was the same age. Like Vincent was the same age that, you know,
Yeah.
that knock came on mine, and so was Luna. So I was like, she like reminds me of like just walking, always, you know, doing her thing and stuff. She's a responsible kid, and I was like, I feel like that was me. And then look at her, she's just bringing people to church, bringing friends and stuff. I'm like, gosh, I love it.
I know.
I was driving home a while ago from work, and Luna was walking home from school or something, and she's going across the crosswalk, and she turns and sticks her tongue out.
Yeah.
Gave me a mean looking face.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I saw her on Sunday. And I'm like, why'd you give me that face? And she's like, that was you.
Yeah.
Just making faces at people.
Well, my favorite thing is when I'm driving down the road and she's always got some kind of little business set up. They're selling something or whatever. You know, they'll have like lemonade or they're selling rocks or
candy.
You never know what it's going to be. But one time she had her friends like there at a table and they were collecting the money and she was on a bike and for $10 she'd ride her bike off into a ditch. So, you know, just like anything for a buck.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a great kid.
He's great. And Vincent is great as well.
He
Thank
is.
you.
And
Yeah.
I am thankful for both of them because through them you ended up coming here, and I think I speak for me and Chris saying that you have been an incredible blessing for this church and brought life into children's ministry and really
I'm
cultivated.
trying.
Well, you've done amazing, Andy, and it's, you know, when I say this, it's like I want to make sure to always recognize both sides of this, because you came to our church like right at the tail end of us going through a very difficult season as a church family. Like, you know, going through COVID for us as a church was difficult. Like, we came out of that season looking way different than we did going into it. So in that, there were a lot of people who just stuck with the church and they're still here. And they were just kind of like these ride or die people, you know, with me. And I'm so thankful for them. But I would say that all of us in that season, or a lot of us, were kind of weary. You know, like we had gone through a lot of loss, a lot of change. We're looking at a church that doesn't look anything like it looked a few years before that. And, you know, it's just kind of like, well, God, what is happening with us? And then here comes Luna and her little crew popping in. And it's so wild because, you know, at that point, we were down to almost no children left in our children's ministries. And I was talking with a pastor here in town when we were in that season. And he said, Chris, how can I pray for your church? And I said, pray that God would send some kids back to our church. Like, it just feels dead around there with no kids running around the church and nothing happening like that. And it was the next week after he prayed that Luna started showing up with her little crew of neighborhood kids. And then she brought you in there. And there you were sitting in the back row all the time. Just you and Vincent sitting
Oh, you
back
noticed
there.
that?
Yeah, you'd always sit like right as close to the back door as you could possibly get.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I didn't want to
that's
bother
my
God
spot.
with my problems.
Yeah.
That's my
Didn't
spot
want to
now.
leave anything at the
yeah,
altar.
yeah, that's where Zach sits there now. But you know, just getting to talk to you and then finding out more about you, and you know, hearing that you were a teacher, and then I can't remember. I think the first thing you told me was, you know, that you had an interest to get involved with children's ministries. And I was like, yes, please.
Oh, I remember that day.
Yeah. So I think we had a meeting after that. Like, we got together and met about it and just.
Yeah, we had it was right after like the end of church service. I think you were announcing like, you know, we need volunteers, like please, and like hit the app. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm sitting all the way in the back and was like, don't do this to me, God, please don't do this to me. I just felt like a push and I went beaming down the line as you're just like ending everything in prayer and coming down. I didn't even like give you time to breathe. I'm like, Pastor, I'm really interested in children's ministries. And you're like, I'm like, okay. You're like, we'll set up a meeting. I was just so anxious and like, if I didn't get up off that chair, it probably was never going to happen. But like, I felt the push and I just, like, I'm here. Use me. I have a gift, I think. I don't know.
No, you definitely do. And but you guys even just showing up, like just coming, and like the fact that you were walking there too, for some reason, that always just brought so much life to all of us. We were just like, look at this. Like Luna and her crew started walking there, and then you and Vincent started walking, and I'm just like, this is amazing. God, you're literally just.
Now I drive because I always have so much stuff in
I
my
know
car.
you got so much stuff for the kids and
It's
everything.
a teacher
You
thing.
just bring one of those wagons.
I
Yeah.
have a wagon, and it's always full. It's always in the back of my car.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and then ultimately, I ended up asking you to be our children's ministries director. And you have done so great with that. You're perfect for me to work with because I am not like a micro managey guy. Like I do better with like just self-starters and people who have great ideas. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Go roll with
yeah,
it.
I love that, And that is you all the way. Just self-starter, always having a vision for something. It's like, hey, do you think we should do a fall festival? I'm like, yeah, I think we should. I had a great idea there. But just all the different things you come up with, it's been really good.
Well, when you first asked me if I was interested in being the director, I remember I was like, can I pray about this? Like I was having like a Moses moment, like, who am I? Like, what is like, why me? Like, I don't even know if I can do this. And then I think I only just really prayed about it for a day, and I was like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Like this is meant for you. This is a blessing, and this is your role now. So I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I just went with it.
Yeah. Well, you were part of like a wave of God bringing in like a fresh group of people who literally just seemed like they were created to fill voids that had happened in our church. I would say, and like I said, I never want to say anything that marginalizes the people who, there were a lot of people who stayed and kept the church going, and, were people I could lean on all the time. Jeremiah stepped up in a big way during COVID. Like, I'm like, Jeremiah, I need you to be like a video producer for us. And I knew I don't think he had any experience at it, but
What?
I always told our church.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, I told, our church council when we were looking to hire Jeremiah, I said, we hire character and he can figure out how to do it. I want him and then he'll figure it out. But so there were lots of people like that who just, I could name off 60 of them off the top of my head who just were people I could lean on during that entire time. But then there was like a new wave that came in, and I swear I've never had a season where people came in so like just like tailor-made by God to do what they were doing, whether it was you or whether it was Zach or whether it was Donna as a church administrator for our church books, whether it was Bruce keeping up our grounds, whether it was like just over and over, people came in and said, oh, I could do that. Kim O'Connell comes to mind where, she was like, oh, I could take on these responsibilities, do this. And it just ushered in this new season of gratitude for me, to where it was like, oh God, your eye is on us and you are, bringing in the people who need to be here. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's cool to think about just, we all have our own stories that lead us where we are. And it's just cool to take a step back and really look at how God has a purpose for all of our lives.
Yeah.
And it's cool to be part of a church family that can recognize that, and use people for their giftings and the way that God designed them to serve.
And allow those giftings to kind of shape the vision of the church.
Yeah.
Not like going into a brainstorming session, establishing what you want your identity to be, and then trying to cram people into that.
Yeah.
But more like letting the people who are there and that God is using, letting that create the culture.
Yeah. And I even think about like how COVID was such a hard time, but like how different things might have been, you know. I mean, you could always say what might have been, but you know, coming out of that hard time, just the like you said, the void that needed to be filled, and then the people coming in, you just see God's providence on it.
Yeah. COVID is one of those things, you'll never convince me that it was right.
Yeah.
But
God worked it.
It's when you see God use something for good, you almost have to end up grateful for it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't agree with it.
Yeah. And that's not even just our church. I think a lot of people started to open their eyes to, you know, the reality that we're in our modern age, and just how things are kind of operating right now. And people started to get a little more hungry, I think, for truth, because there was just so much dilution of truth.
There was so much dilution of truth. I think there was, for me, there was a stripping away of a lot of things that my identity were kind of wrapped up in. And when that was all taken away, it's like, okay, what does God want in this season? Like, it forced you to that place. It was, And like I said, it opened up this door for God to fill our church with people who just had unique giftings and anointings on their lives. So you were on the very forefront of that for us. And it was, you know, I hope you know, as a pastor, like, I can't express enough to you how encouraging it was for me to see you and others come in during that season, because it was just like, oh God, you know, because for a time, you know, you question like, okay, Lord, are you done with me? Are you done with me in this assignment? Is this it? You know? And then you see God start doing things through people. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. And for me as a parent, I am also just incredibly thankful. I know you've been a big influence on Jameson, and he loves you to death.
He's so sweet.
He
All
is
the
a
kids
sweetheart.
are so sweet.
He is, but it's so nice. There's a little bug in here.
You're the only one who sees it.
Okay, I'm just going crazy. It's comforting, and it just gives me peace knowing that I can trust the hands that I'm leaving my son in.
Yeah.
Not only just to take care of him, but to lead him in truth, you know. And I felt like for a long time I was trying to kind of hold on to him and not let too many outside, voices into his life, because you never know. But I remember just letting that go and just feeling comfort, you know, and knowing that you and the Carters, the Clarkson, and all these people that have been holding this down, you know, and that I trust you, and I trust them.
When we
so
came
much.
here with Vincent, and Vincent, he first went back there, and I think it was the Dietrichs back there and the Carters. Like he would always come back, and you know, Vincent, he's a soft guy, and like he came out so happy, and he's like, I want to go back. I'm like, well, we're gonna keep coming back. I'm like, okay. There must be something about, because Vincent's he's got a different kind of radar. Like he just, I don't know, with people, but like if he's come back and he's happy and excited, like you really like made him feel special and loved and welcomed, and that's like what I want my kid to have in a children's. Like, unfortunately, my very first time in a children's church, I did not feel that way, and I've never. So when I got offered the position, like just to even like volunteer to teach, I was like, oh my gosh, I know I'm a teacher, but like to teach and minister to little ones, I was like, I don't even know where to begin. I was like, I never spent time in children's ministry when I was a kid. I don't even know what they really did. I was always up front with the grown-ups from 9 all the way up to like 16.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I instantly was like, okay, kids ministry conferences online, like global events, and I think I enrolled myself in like Life Pacific University for a biblical foundation certificate and stuff. I was like jam packing myself with things. Like the first like 6 months, I'm like, I feel like I have to like be intentional in everything that I do, even just as a teacher. But now I'm like, with children in church, like I want to be intentional while making them feel loved and welcomed and all those things and have fun and everything. And I'm working on it. So
Great.
No, I think
sometimes
you're
we'll have
doing
a bunch
amazing.
of kids and sometimes we won't have a few, but it's like when they're there and they're smiling, they're having a good time, it's they're getting it and
Yeah.
they're getting the word of God.
I've experienced it once, and I think it's like the biggest win as a children's ministry teacher when a kid says, "Mom, I want to come back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yes. You could probably ask them, like, "What did you learn today?" And they're like, well, I don't know.
It's in there somewhere.
About Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just knowing that they had a good time and enjoyed it enough to come back and don't see church as a drag or a place that their parents are forcing them to come is it's really cool. But yeah, so it's been awesome to watch the growth happening as well. But I guess I'm also curious because you have so much experience as a teacher working with kids. You've raised Vincent. How old is Vincent now?
He will be 12 next
12.
Thursday,
Oh my goodness.
the 18th.
He is such a stud, such an awesome kid. And you've been doing this children's ministry, leading this, and I'm just wondering what you might see, how you would advocate for these kids. You know, what you see that they're struggling with. I feel, I was thinking about it today, that so often we'll point at the next generation, and I feel like this has been happening for so long, and just be like, oh, we're doomed. You know, it's hopeless. Like, these kids don't stand a chance, you know. And I think it's important that we don't put that on this next generation, personally, because having children, I want to feed hope into their lives, you know,
Yes.
that they can grow up and succeed and have families and love Jesus and do all of these things. So, but with that being said, there are struggles, and it's all rooted to the same issues, but the world's changing.
Yes.
Right? Kids are up against things that are a little bit different. So I was just wondering if you could kind of speak on that and how people could maybe view the challenges that these kids are going through in a new lens.
I mean, every day, like just the massive crazy growth in just technology and how it's being used, it's really just a distraction for these kids. When they're constantly being fed this instant dopamine hit of having something in their face, they're not learning any connection with people on how to talk to someone, how to acknowledge someone else's emotions, their own emotions. And when you have those problems and you put a bunch of kids together, it's like it's a zoo. They don't know how to communicate to each other. They don't know how to understand each other because they're so used to being distracted. And then it's like, you know, that's just in school life. Like, so many things can happen, the bullying and things like that. And I do hear about it. Like, when I talk with the kids and discuss problems in their lives, they go through so much for just being little kids. So then in my mind, I'm like, how can I connect with whatever we're going to learn about in the lesson, or even go off track and connect it back to the word, like to give them hope in their life. Like, hope is to know that God is always going to be there for you no matter what. And he will always love you no matter what. And it's actually pretty fun. Like, the more you talk to your kids and just get their like open-ended questions, like understanding of what they're thinking, and you keep talking to them, it's like you can just roll with it. And then if you throw in some word and connect, it's like, it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, when they learn, like, if you just go with your life, giving God, you know, taking on the reins, life becomes so much easier. And we did so many lessons, like teaching that, following God's will and leading by example and loving others. Because we always tell them, like, love your God first and love others. Like, that's our two main focus things always, because those are the two most important. It's like, how can you do that in your life? What can you do at school? Like, I'm just always talking with them. I'm always connecting with them. And I encourage families to do that at home. Like, I feel like families, and I get caught up into it too, we get so distracted or so busy. It's like we're always making excuses that we can't take time for 10 minutes to just talk with our kids. and have those real emotions, or even discuss, why are you angry? Well, I don't want to talk. Well, just tell me, like almost like poking the bear, but you really got to kind of open up that connection again. It's all about connecting with people. You know, you got to connect with your family. So, I mean, it's as easy as that. Even in my everyday job, I tell that to parents, and we have, you know, parent conferences and stuff. And once I kind of break it down to them about that foundation, they start to see changes. Yeah. So it's just making time for them, connection. Take away some of those distractions too. Give them the word instead. Like, yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. I would love to see that barrier kind of taken down a little bit, because a lot of kids, like you said, I mean, we're all just living incredibly busy lives, and it seems like the moment we can disconnect from crazy schedules, from work, from all these things, a lot of the times it's not just kids that are dealing with these, you know, the technological advance and using iPhones or whatever else, TV as distraction, and the amount of time that parents have with their kids is very limited, especially if they're working full time, kids are going to school. And so when you spend those 2 or 3 hours watching TV or sitting on your phones and doing that stuff, you're missing a huge opportunity for that connection that you talked about. So I guess I would like to challenge people to
be intentional. You got to challenge yourself to be intentional with building a relationship with God. That's first. And then being intentional with your family. Yeah. You got to go down those.
Yeah. And as a church, like, build connection with these kids, you know, like, go and talk to them, ask them how they're doing. They might be shy. Like, if you come and talk to my son, he's probably not going to get into a conversation with you, but you know, it takes time to build.
Not the first time.
Yeah. Get him going eventually.
Yeah.
Then he'll start asking crazy questions that you have to really like, oh, how do I answer that?
He stumps me all the time.
If you want to break the ice with him, ask him to tell you a joke.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a bunch of good ones.
Until he starts making them up. And it gets confusing.
When he runs out of the ones he knows.
Yeah. But, you know, it takes time. You can't expect an immediate response or connection. And a lot of times it's a big adjustment for a person to come and just genuinely want to ask how they're doing and get to know them. When does that,
like, when you think about it, like how you said it, like, why is it so weird now to like go and ask them, like, hey, how's your day? Like, people feel awkward now, like, oh, like, why are you talking to me? Why, like, what do you care? Like, back in the day, like, it used to be so natural for us to like genuinely care about another person and greet them and say good morning. Like, sometimes I see people and they say good morning, and they're just like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's just they're not used to like human connection.
Yeah, and we have such a good opportunity for that in our church too, because kids go back after the first song. So, you know, kids are coming in, hanging out, you know, up until the first song is over, you know. So
and then we do like the meet and greet time.
You know, when the kids start walking back, like, just take a moment, you know.
They run back.
They do run.
They're already down. They're like, don't wait for me, guys.
Yeah. But I love the idea of the adults and the people that have been attending church and doing this, and just being intentional about connecting with the kids, you know, and making sure they feel welcome just as much as anybody else. And I think that can kind of maybe take some of the, I don't know. For me, growing up as a kid, I felt anxiety a little bit going to church, you know, and seeing all these, you know, serious looking people and all of that. And it can make a child feel uncomfortable, I think, you know. So I think it would do us good just to be intentional about making sure that they feel welcomed. And
yeah, I love it when I see them walking around here like they own the place.
Like they own the place,
They really do. They go into the coffee area and start whipping up some hot cocoa or whatever, and they're just kind of, you know, they just walk around like they own it, and I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and props to you, Pastor Chris, because you have been such a good example of that for kids coming into this church.
Yeah,
you always. It's maybe because you are a big kid yourself.
I am.
But you've been very intentional about connecting with the kids that are coming into church and making sure that they're welcomed.
What
and
was
that's
that
a big
one
deal.
Sunday he like, I don't know, like there's a bunch of kids and he's just going in his office, pulling out different like Star Wars. There's here, you can have this one here. I'm like, what is he doing right now? They're all walking. Can I walk down with them to that?
Yeah.
They all got their
Hot
swords
Wheels.
and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
all
the
right.
lightsabers.
Yeah,
I had a
all
bunch
of
of
them.
lightsabers.
And they're all
in
walking
my
down the
office.
street. Hiya.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
So
Yeah.
I just think that's awesome for the senior pastor of this church to be, just so willing to be generous with his time and with just connecting with everybody that comes through the door.
You gonna go back and teach 1 week? We'll just swap.
Yeah.
Teach the kids.
Yeah, if I've got you there, I'll give it a try.
They will eat you
she's
alive.
She's gonna be teaching.
Yeah,
a
I
sermon.
know. Well, I didn't know if I was going to get to mention that, but that's a good segue to it. You were really good in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're not nervous at all or if you are, but you just don't show it. Or maybe you're one of those people who gets nervous and responds well to it. But when you talk, even in front of the church, like, not planned, like kind of extemporaneous talking, whatever. You're funny, you're on point, you're, engaging with people.
I never used to be like that until I had to push myself to be like that. As a teacher, I had to have conferences and deal with confrontation, and I want to, be serious and intentional. So I have to be prepared for it. And actually in college, I took it was a communication speech course. I don't know, like you had to write dozens of speeches and present them and stuff. But it was during COVID, so I had to do it over Zoom. But funny, I was really good at giving speeches, and I had to make a really good speech about convincing someone that on a topic, any topic. And I chose tacos because that's my favorite food. I wrote like an 8-page convincing speech, very interactive, Billy Mays style. And they wanted to enter into an actual speech competition. And I was like, what? Like, this is really, I'm like, you guys have competitions on speeches? I'm like, interesting. So probably was like a really good compliment to myself. That's probably the only compliment I could ever take. And so now I'm just like, I guess I'm a good speaker, but I am nervous as heck. I am shaking in my boots up there, like, especially when I have to hold the mic. If I put the mic down, I can be fine.
You're thinking through it. Like the other week when you got up there and you did an impersonation of me. And everybody knew immediately what you were doing.
I sit up there like, I want to go up there and do that so bad. It's so funny. And I finally got the chance to do it, and I had to take it.
Yeah, you took it. And I mean, it hit. Yeah. People knew immediately. I was very hurt by it, but
yeah.
No,
oh, gosh.
He complained for weeks.
Just because my cheesy jokes was better. That's why.
Oh, no, that does hurt.
I wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing yet.
Don't get started on the joke.
So it's like, please don't trigger him.
We're running out of time.
That's going to be the part 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like?
I don't know. Is there anything else?
What would you say to somebody that's interested in maybe getting involved in children's ministry, seeing what it's about?
Just come. Just come, hang out with me. It's so much fun. The kids are amazing. They love Jesus. You love Jesus. Just come. Mm-hmm. It's really, if you just let your guard down and you just relax, the kids, they feel the vibes. They do. They're so amazing. Even some of the ones when you have a big mixed age group, they can get a little crazy, but it's so much fun back there. They have so much love to give, and they just need the love back too. Mm-hmm. They need that to be modeled to them. Yeah. And, Jesus is the number one prime example, but they also need us to love, and love them back. So just hang out. They're so great. Even if it's just hanging out for 20 minutes during our open discussions, because we usually open with open discussion time and get some sillies out. You learn so much about them. They have so much heart. They really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And talk about examples. Jesus definitely made time for children.
He did.
He saw the importance in that.
Yeah.
I think that's just a big theme in your testimony of how important it is to reach these kids and get the word into their life and get truth into their life.
Yes.
Yep.
So, well, with that being said, I think we're good.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you,
right.
Andy.
Yeah, great job.
It was awesome.
You're a natural podcaster too. That's incredible.
I don't even watch that many podcasts.
We'll have to. I want to hear this taco speech. I
Yeah,
wanna know what
exactly. Yeah.
Is it that?
Just maybe on a Sunday?
Were you arguing that tacos are the best food?
Yeah, we had to make any type of like speech to like convince you on something, and people are choosing like conspiracy theories and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna simplify this. Let's just taco is the best food, like nutrition wise, and it's just crazy. It was 7. Don't get me started. We do not
gonna
have
have
the
to hear
time.
it.
Yeah, because I'd like to debate it.
I
would like to
sold
debate
it.
that.
Yeah.
I had to do it 3 times.
Because you take taco, I'll take cheeseburger, and let's go.
I
Now,
think
I
I'm with
love
you on that.
tacos, but
Yeah, I might have to lean towards pizza, but
yeah.
it's
I can't be
vegetable.
your guys'
I mean-
friends right now.
Tacos.
Jeremiah, which is it? Tacos, pizza, or did you mute?
No, I unmuted myself. Yes.
He's done.
I don't know. That's tough. I feel like I grew up eating more Mexican food than I did American food.
Just
so
say
I think tacos like it because there's so many different ways you can make a taco. You know, for most people, there's only like
A lot of ways you
There's-
can make a
Hit
burger.
the
There's
like
a lot of ways you
button
can make a
if
burger.
you prefer tacos. Leave a comment if you prefer pizza.
But I feel like there are more people in the world that can make a good taco than can make an exceptionally good burger. You know, like I feel like I've had a ton of mediocre burgers in my life, but I've had way more amazing tacos. Do you know what I mean?
So you could turn anything into a taco.
I don't know what you mean.
Well-
I'm with Chris. If there's a poll for tacos or burgers,
Yeah.
I'm going burgers.
We literally just had this debate with Bert and Kathy on Sunday.
I
like if you
them.
could only eat one food
Oh,
for the rest of your life, what would it be?
tacos. And side note, because we're talking about bar and cat, we need
Well,
to
you would be on- you would-
configure the chili contest.
You know
next
who would
year.
be on your team? Bert.
Yes.
I'm just picturing like imagine you have a burger shop and a taco shop on the same street.
Tacos.
For one day, both of them free for anybody who comes. The line
Tacos.
for the taco shop's going to be longer.
Oh, yeah.
It just will.
You talking like yaks on the 5?
You got the
burgers?
texture, the
talking?
flavors, the simplicity of just walking. You can't just no. Don't even get me started.
All right. Well, let us know what you think, church. We'll get to the bottom.
Yes. We
All
got
right.
Pizza, tacos, or burgers.
Of it. Yeah, pizza. You can do a lot with pizza.
Yeah. And remember,
Hit the like if you
you're extra
prefer
blessed if you
tacos.
agree
Comment
with
for
the
pizza.
pastor.
Share for cheeseburgers.
There you go. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for
See how we
joining
share
us
it.
for another episode. Thank you again, Andy.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Andy.
Chris and Jeremiah. We will see you all next time. Bye-bye.